I'm curious, just by a show of hands, how many of you think that the language, menstruating person, pregnant person, birthing bodies, lactating person, chest feeder, uterus bearer, birthing people, womb carrier, how many of you look at that and say, I support the transgender community, but this is going too far, it's being too aggressive? Raise your hand. Okay, that's about 75%. How many of you say, no, that's not going too far, I get it? That's about maybe 20% of you. Yes, sir.
I think it's degrading to a point because women are so much more than all of that language and that terminology. And I understand about the inclusion, and I'm learning a lot today. Let me tell you, I'm a history teacher, high school history teacher, and I have a lot to give back now into the classroom because of this discussion. But I just think the language itself might need tweaked and changed, but I think it's evolving. And I think it's just gonna take some time.
Right, I'm glad that you're learning. I'm learning. Did you have something to say?
It's good that it's being talked about, but we also, even though we're opening ourselves to have this discussion, but we also have to open our minds and our hearts in both ways. Right. Because it's like speaking over each other and saying, but you're not understanding this, or you won't understand it because I'm going through this. Well, yes and no, obviously, because we're all going our individual paths in the way that we live our lives. But you just have to open your heart and be more accepting,
Yeah.
No.
As I'm listening to the conversation, I default back to some different experiences. And I feel like I'm very fortunate in that I think everything I've ever done in my life has prepared me for what I'm now doing, which I couldn't say if part of my life I was selling shrimp out of a van down by the river, which I never went through that job, but I've done a lot of different things, and I spent a lot of my professional career in trial sciences, which involve juries and litigation. And I'm thinking about if I was representing you and was wanting to make a case before a jury, I would be thinking about what I could do to co-opt the jury to my way of thinking. And I would be trying to listen to say, okay, what is it that that my message might be threatening or crowding them, and how can I state that differently? Because if I'm the last one to the party, I don't want to come in saying, okay, I want to change all of this. I would kind of be asking, how can we co-opt this? Because we do want to join. We do want to, this fight that's been going on for suffrage and equality in the workplace and all, how can we become part of this and be welcomed? And while we're asking that question, let us tell you what our needs are to feel like we're a meaningful part of this. The number one need of all people is acceptance. And the number one fear is rejection. That's everybody.
Right now at Ashley, get 0